fellow humans. Today, we're gonna dive into the perverted case of a man named Antonio Villas Boas. In 1994, Boas became the center of one of the most bizarre and controversial UFO stories of all time. But this isn't your typical alien abduction story. No, this one goes deeper, challenging everything that we think we know about extraterrestrial encounters. It all began in the rural heart of Brazil. Antonio Villas Boas, a 23-year-old farmer, was working all day on his family's farm on the fields near Sao Francesco de Sales. It was the evening of October 16th, 1957. Antonio had been sleeping with his brother when the unexpected happened. While driving his tractor under a starry sky, Antonio noticed something strange overhead. A red, glowing light. At first, he thought it might be a plane or a satellite, but the light grew larger and closer, and soon it was hovering right above him. Suddenly, his tractor stopped. The engine died. Antonio was frozen in confusion. He tried to start the engine again, but it wouldn't budge. The glowing object was now hovering directly above him, casting an eerie red light onto the earth below. Next is a part of the story that has never been fully explained. Antonio later claimed that the object descended, landing nearby, and from it, 3 humanoid figures emerged. These beings, standing about 1.5 meters tall, were described as wearing tight, metallic suits that glistened under the strange red glow of the craft. Their heads were large and oval-shaped, like eggs, with big, dark eyes. But there was something even more unsettling about them. Antonio, they were not Alonio. One figure stepped forward, but it wasn't like the other ones. It was different. Taller, more human-like. And it approached him, gesturing for him to follow. Antonio was overcome with fear. He tried to flee, but the beings had other plans. One of them took a hold of him, pulling him aboard the craft. Inside the craft, Antonio was subjected to a series of bizarre events. Villas Boas was stripped butt-ass naked, coated in jelly, and then led through a doorway marked with unfamiliar red symbols. Symbols that he would later sketch for the investigators looking into his case. Once inside the room, Boas claimed that aliens took blood samples from his chin. On the spaceship, Antonio was placed in a room where he noticed a strange gas emanating from the walls, making him feel ill. And then soon after, striking woman with platinum blonde hair, deep blue eyes, and fiery red pubes approached him. She then compelled him to take his penis and do her. During this sexual intercourse, Boas noted that the female did not want to make out, but instead nipped him on the chin like a dog. Boas claimed that the woman's purpose was unmistakable: to nut inside of her and give her a human-alien hybrid, which she intended to raise on her home planet. He said that he tried to steal a clock-like device as proof of his sexual encounter, but was caught by the humanoids and prevented him from doing so. After what felt like an eternity in the bone zone, Antonio was released. The beings vanished. The craft ascended, and the red light faded into the night sky. Antonio was shaken and confused, was left alone in the field. But the story does not end here. Upon returning to Earth, he discovered burns all over his balls and ass. A physician from a respected medical facility examined his balls and identified the marks as radiation burns. Over the coming days, Antonio experienced a series of physical symptoms, including nausea and blisters on his nuts.
That's disgusting.
Antonio Boas would go to tell his story, but his claims were met with skepticism. Yet, his encounter became one of the earliest widely documented alien abduction case of all time. Years later, some UFO researchers would call it the first alien abduction with sexual elements, setting the stage for a long line of stories to follow. But there's one thing that has always haunted those who heard Antonio's tale. The details, they were consistent, specific, and far too strange to be made up. So what do you guys think? Was it an abduction? Did Antonio really get taken to the bone zone by this alien? Or was Antonio's mind just playing tricks on him? Could it be that he had encountered something far beyond our understanding of the universe? You guys let us know in the comments below. Have you ever had a sexual experience with an alien? Let us know. And it raises one simple question: are we truly alone